Most people want to become rich. They dream about financial freedom, a bigger house, more time, a better life. But wanting to become rich is not enough. Because every day, millions of people unknowingly follow habits that make wealth almost impossible. And the scary part is, most of these habits do not feel dangerous. They feel normal. That is why so many people spend years working hard, yet never build real wealth. The truth is, becoming rich is not only about what you do, it is also about what you keep doing wrong. So here are the 5 signs you will never become rich, unless you change them. Sign 1. You spend everything you earn. The first sign you may never become rich is simple. You spend everything you make. Every month, the same thing happens. You get paid, you feel relieved, and then slowly the money disappears. Bills, food, shopping, entertainment, subscriptions, and by the end of the month, there is nothing left. Most people believe the solution is to earn more money, but here's the problem. If you spend everything you earn now, you will probably spend everything you earn later too. Because income does not automatically create wealth, habits do. There are people making very little money who still manage to save and invest, and there are people making huge salaries who remain completely broke. Why? Because wealth is not about how much money comes in, it is about how much money stays. Most people increase their lifestyle every time they earn more. A raise comes in. Then comes the better phone, the newer car, the more expensive apartment. At first, it feels like progress, but often, it simply creates a more expensive version of the same life. The truth is, if your expenses always rise with your income, you may spend your entire life earning more, without ever becoming wealthier. Rich people learn this lesson early. They understand that every dollar can do one of 2 things. It can be spent, or it can be used to build more money. That is why wealthy people usually save and invest first, and spend what is left afterward. Most people do the opposite. They spend first, and save only if something remains. But something rarely remains. And that is why so many people stay stuck. If you want to become rich, you do not need to stop enjoying life. But you do need to stop spending every dollar you make. Because if money always leaves your hands as quickly as it enters, you will never give wealth a chance to grow. Sign 2. You care more about looking rich than becoming rich. One of the biggest reasons people never become rich is because they are too busy trying to look rich. They want people to think they are successful. So they buy expensive things, luxury clothes, new cars, designer brands, the latest phone. Not because they truly need these things, but because they want to feel important, or because they want other people to admire them. Social media has made this even worse. Every day, people see images of luxury lifestyles, expensive vacations, fancy watches, beautiful houses, and slowly they begin to believe that looking wealthy is the same as being wealthy, but it is not. Many people who look rich are actually deeply in debt. They are financing a lifestyle they cannot truly afford. Behind the expensive car may be years of monthly payments. Behind the designer clothes may be an empty bank account. Because appearances are easy. Wealth is harder. Real wealth is often quiet. The truly wealthy person may drive a normal car, wear simple clothes, live below their means, because they understand something that most people do not. Every dollar spent trying to impress others is a dollar that cannot be invested in your future. The people who become rich usually care less about what others think. They are willing to look less successful for a few years while they quietly build assets. Meanwhile, most people spend their best years trying to look successful, without actually becoming successful. The truth is, if your goal is to impress people, you may never become rich. Because rich people buy assets, poor people buy status, and one grows your future while the other quietly destroys it. Sign 3. You never learn how money works. Most people spend years learning how to make money, but very few people spend time learning how money actually works. Schools teach people how to become employees, how to follow instructions, how to get a job, but they rarely teach how to invest, how to build wealth, how debt works, how taxes work, how rich people think about money. As a result, many people enter adulthood completely unprepared. They know how to earn a paycheck, but they do not know how to turn that paycheck into wealth. And without financial knowledge, people often spend their entire lives repeating the same mistakes. They work harder every year, but they still stay stuck. Because effort without understanding is not enough. Imagine someone who spends 30 years saving money in a bank account, believing they are doing everything right, but because of inflation, their money slowly loses value over time. Or imagine someone who buys expensive things on credit because nobody ever taught them how interest works. Or someone who never invests because they think investing is only for rich people. These people are not stupid. They simply never learned the rules of money. And if you never learn how money works, you will spend your entire life playing a game without understanding the rules. The people who become rich usually do one thing differently. They study money. They read. They learn. They improve. Because they understand that financial knowledge is one of the few things that can completely change your future. The more you understand money, the better decisions you make. And better decisions repeated over years create wealth. But if you never learn, you may spend your whole life earning money while never truly keeping it. Sign 4. You believe rich people are just lucky. Many people secretly believe that becoming rich is mostly luck. They think wealthy people had rich parents, better opportunities, more connections, or simply got lucky. And sometimes that is true. Some people do start life with advantages. But believing that luck is the only reason people become rich is dangerous. Because if you believe wealth is only for lucky people, you stop trying, you stop learning, you stop improving, you stop taking responsibility for your own future. It becomes easier to say, I could never become rich. That is not for people like me. And those beliefs slowly become your reality. The truth is, many wealthy people were not born rich. They started with nothing. What changed their life was not luck. It was their habits, their decisions, their willingness to think differently. Most people spend years complaining about what they do not have. Rich people spend years building with what they do have. Because even if you cannot control where you start, you can control what you do next. You can learn valuable skills. You can save money. You can invest. You can stop wasting money on things that do not matter. You can improve your future little by little. But none of that happens if you spend your life believing success is only for other people. Because the moment you believe wealth is impossible, you stop doing the things that make it possible. And that is one of the clearest signs you may never become rich. Sign 5. You only think about today. The final sign you may never become rich is that you only think about today. Most people make decisions based on what feels good right now, buying something because they want it, skipping saving because they do not feel like it, avoiding investing because it seems too slow. But wealth is built by people who think long-term. They are willing to make sacrifices today for a better future tomorrow. Because they understand something most people do not. Small decisions repeated over years create huge results. Imagine two people. The first person spends all of their extra money every month. The second person saves and invests a small amount consistently. At first, there is almost no difference between them. But after 10 years, the difference becomes enormous. Why? Because time makes good habits powerful. And it also makes bad habits expensive. The people who never become rich often want immediate rewards. They want quick money, fast success, instant results. But wealth rarely works that way. Most rich people become wealthy slowly. Through patience, through discipline, through years of small actions that nobody notices. That is why people who only think about today often stay stuck forever. Because they keep choosing short-term pleasure over long-term freedom. And by the time they finally realize it, years have passed. The truth is, becoming rich is not about one perfect decision. It is about making slightly better decisions every day, for a very long time. If you recognized yourself in some of these signs, do not panic. Because these habits are not permanent. They can change. And the moment you begin changing them, your future begins changing too. Stop spending everything you earn. Stop trying to impress other people. Learn how money works. Take responsibility for your future. Think long-term, because wealth is not reserved for lucky people. It is built by ordinary people who make better financial decisions than everyone else. And the difference between becoming rich and staying broke forever often comes down to a few habits repeated every day.